we found Advanced TRS, we were really struggling. Our whole family was struggling. The most intense issue that he had was severe emotional instability. His moods were just out of control, and he couldn't control them. And so he would, you know, any little thing could trigger him. He would go into a rage, meltdown. Sometimes they could last more than an hour. And it was just like walking in a minefield all the time. And our whole family was just in distress, and anything could set him off, and he would just, wow, lose it. And so we were living that way for a while, and we were trying to figure out what we could do to help him. We were trying all kinds of things. We saw so many practitioners, and we were trying to do our best to find something to turn the corner for him. And it's a really tough time for our family. His anxiety was getting worse, his depression was getting worse, that kind of went along with the mood stuff. And he was, I mean, as the years went on, it was just getting more and more severe. And I mean, there was aggression starting to happen. And so our next step really was psych meds. And we just didn't want to go that route. It didn't feel right. It wasn't what I wanted for him to live, you know, the rest of his life managing this with psych meds. We ended up stumbling across TRS, and we started using it, and we didn't think much of it because we tried so many things to help him. Someone had mentioned Zeolite to us, and I didn't know what that was, so I started researching. I started digging into what it was all about, what it did, what other parents were saying, what other people were saying. So the one that I landed on was Advanced TRS. There's several Zeolite products out there, but the best reviews, the best science came, you know, with TRS. And I was like, okay, let's do it. Why not? We have nothing to lose at this point, you know? So we started using it, started giving it to him, and in about 2 weeks, we started noticing just a little bit more mood stability. He wasn't triggered quite as easily. And we were like, what could this be? Like, is this the TRS? Is this, you know, what could be causing this, or are we just imagining it? So I had a hunch that it was the TRS. And we stopped everything else. We stopped all other supplements. We stopped anything new that we had recently started with him, because we were always just trying one thing, then the next thing, and the next thing. So we stopped everything and just kept with the TRS. And it was kind of up and down for a while. I mean, we'd see little gains, and he'd kind of go back, and then we'd see little gains, he'd kind of go back, and that's a pretty typical process for detox. So within about 3 months, his gains started sticking, and he clearly was making progress, and it was clearly from the TRS. So we were getting excited. I mean, at that point, we started to allow ourselves to get excited. We're like, oh my goodness, this is helping him. What have we found here? And, you know, we started noticing mood stability and less of the anxiety and the depression. And there was just so many little things that we started noticing. He's more affectionate. He was starting to understand sarcasm. We could joke with him a little, which we hadn't been able to do before. And within 6 months, he had a huge list of improvements and gains from the TRS. It was really, we could hardly believe it. Like, it was so incredible that almost telling the story seems not real, because it's so amazing what this did for him. By 6 months, it really, truly changed his life. He was a different person. He was relaxed. He did not have another raging meltdown since day one of TRS, not one. And he hasn't, and it's been 2 years, over 2 years actually, and he's never had one of those since the day we started. So I mean, it's just, his story is so incredible that I love to tell people, because we were in such a bad place as a family, And now it makes me tear up because he's a joy. You know, he's a joy to be around. It's like the person that he always was is now able to come forward and step forward, and he's able to be who he always was underneath all of that. Better health begins with detox. The main driver is what I see it doing for other people, and other families are healing, and that is why I keep doing it. So that's the main reason.